Welcome everybody. Today we'll be learning Orot HaTorah, Perek Zayin. The title of the Perek is Bitul Torah.
Yeah. So the whole talking about Bitul Torah usually comes in a very negative attitude, and I think first of all we have to learn how to improve ourselves in it. But I think the perspective Rav Kook comes with it is very interesting. It's very open-minded and interesting.
Really? Very unique, eye-opening, and
also usually people say "Tavatel Torah is a bitul Torah," but what does that mean? What can I do to improve it? How do I act? So that's what Rav Kook tries to answer.
Jump right in.
Piska Aleph. Okay, you go.
ישנן כמה סיבות המעכבות את האדם מדברי תורה. There are a few reasons that hold back somebody from, literal translation is from the words of Torah, right?
Yeah.
שלא ייכנסו בלבבו, that they won't go into his heart. There are multiple reasons that it doesn't go into his heart. ותמיד צריכים לדעת מהי הסיבה המעכבת באותה השעה, שהעיכוב הוא מורגש. So I want to start from the end of the sentence. They're saying that the ikuv is murgash. There's a lack of feeling, and it's an experience that the person can identify. And there's multiple reasons, and it's depending on the hour. That's the translation. It's depending on the time, right? It's hame'akevet be'ota sha'ah. Sometime in this time, you feel like the Torah isn't going into your heart because of this, and then it's because of this, and there's different reasons. כדי שידע באיזה אופן להסיר את הסיבה, כדי שיפתח ליבו להיקשר יפה בדברי תורה. So there's different reasons, and we need to know the different reasons. Why? So that we can try to fix it. So we can open our hearts, so we can have the Torah go into our hearts.
Yeah.
I think the idea of the Torah going into our hearts is there's a point in learning where you understand it to a level that you feel like it influences the way you see the world, the way you see yourself. Mm-hmm. There's a shift in your mindset and a certain level of depth that is the point in time where the Torah went into your heart.
Right.
Where it's not just like an intellectual fact. It's not just like piece of information.
I also feel like, for me personally, when I'm very easily distracted, when I'm learning it, I feel that I'm not into it. I'm just learning it just because it's a chovah, it's a must to learn. And when I'm not interested in my phone, I'm not interested in anything, I know I'm in the learning, I'm enjoying it. Yeah, that's like a siman. So we can't, especially as educators, you can't say one answer for every guy because there's probably different answers.
Right.
So that's a big thing. It's a big thing.
Yeah, definitely. According to what he's saying here, there definitely is, and for the same person. It's not even right. For the same person, and depending on the time, there could be different answers.
Right. So it could be when he's younger, he had this reason. When he gets older, he gets married with kids, things change, The child.
I even think it's more specific. I think it's today and tomorrow, 3 p.m., 9 p.m.
Wow,
I think that
it could be, but I feel like, listen, it's not like a juggle, someone doesn't connect to Torah because something deep happened to him. And this deep thing is usually a process, not one day he disconnected, and then the other day he didn't disconnect, but something else happened.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Usually I feel it's periods. I don't know if hours. It's hard for me to...
Right. I don't know. He says lefi be'ota sha'ah, so...
Right. The question is how to understand that, but be'ota sha'ah. That's the question. Right. You're right.
So another idea, and we'll see where it goes, but another main chidush here is we have to understand what Bitul Torah is normally presented as, and then what he's contrasting, what he's saying, what his chidush is. So just to explain to the listeners, a classic Bitul Torah is somebody sitting with a book, he's learning, he's reading the information, he even understands it, and someone walks up to him and he says, "Oh, did you see the soccer game yesterday? Yeah, did you, even you could even say the person gets a phone call that he should take but doesn't need to take, right? It's a friend, he wanted to be in touch with him, but he could take it later, he could reach out later, it doesn't have to be right now, so it doesn't have to be right now. So that, in that moment, it was mevatel Torah, right? And in which case, it's almost like a quantity of Torah. It's like time being learned, like you're clocked in or you're clocked out. That's the classic, basic understanding of Bitul Torah. And Rav Kook is taking that, and his chidush is that it's also a quality element, where there's a certain quality to your learning, where even if you're sitting and learning, but it's not going into your heart, so there might be Bitul Torah here. And then the question why it's, even though you're sitting and learning, like you're sitting and learning Torah, but it's not going into your heart. So that's in the parak, that conversation is in the parak of Bitul Torah. So there's like another level that you're not having the full Torah learning experience. And the qualities in like level A learning versus level B, if you can figure out what is holding you back from having that level A experience, and you're not doing that, so that would be you being mivatel Torah, because you're holding yourself back from that depth, from that understanding, from that higher level of the full experience.
And this, I think it's beautiful what you're saying. I think it suits Rav Kook that if you look in the external Bitul Torah word, so you say like any distraction, you're stopping of learning for a second, it's a Bitul Torah. But when you think, why is he stopping to learn? Why is he always distracted? Why is his phone interesting more than the thing? It comes from somewhere. Probably if he was really connected to what he was learning and he was enjoying what he was learning, it wouldn't distract him. So let's go back like a step. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can tell the boy, why are you distracted? Why are you not learning? But if he doesn't connect to the Torah, it'll happen to him another day, the next day, the next day afterwards.
Right. I would say also that what you're saying is an assumption I think that we have that we've learned of Kook over time, where it's clear that the psychological elements of us being human are intertwined with the world of Kodesh and Avodat Hashem. So we need to understand, like you said, like deeper in the human, and go into their head and understand their habits and the way they think, and and their motivation to understand how that impacts the Avodat Hashem.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. Okay, keep on going.
Right. If you don't know the reason, so you can try very hard last year. You can think that the reason it's not going into your heart is because of you didn't sleep enough, right? Oh, you only slept 6 hours or 7 hours, and you think you need 8 hours, and you'll go take a nap. And really, that's not the reason that the Torah isn't being learned on a high level. Right? And you still don't know what the reason is right now that you're not learning on a high level because of. Right, and the word kishura here was a kuf. It means the connection, probably.
Yeah.
Right. What's holding you back from connecting with the Torah? Again, we're talking about a situation where somebody's learning. He's sitting and learning.
Yeah.
But he's not connecting. Tishael beina. It will stand in the same point. Right. The lack of connection will still stand because you thought it was one reason, and you find and you were wrong. Right. So you've invested thought, and you've invested time, and you changed the setting, and you changed what you're learning, and you changed different things. And it's still like there's a lack of connection because you haven't stopped and figured out the right reason, what's actually holding you back.
Right. Well, yeah, if you just finish those three words.
Vayamod ha'adam bemevuchato.
Yeah,
so mevucha is like to be embarrassed, or to be, in this case, not really embarrassed,
like
but
frustrated. I don't know.
Yeah, you could say maybe frustrated.
Yeah, uncomfortable, frustrated.
Yeah,
because like you worked hard, you tried to change it, but you didn't succeed. Yeah. It means like when we have these situations, you got to do a serious cheshbon nefesh why this is happening. Not just to like flow, okay, I'm probably not learning the right thing, let's change the masechet instead of masechet. I had this I learned Gemara Pekiyot, and then I was learning Zvachim. And in Zvachim, Daf Mem Nun, I don't remember where I got. I said, you know what, I can't learn this anymore. This is so not interesting. It's driving me crazy. And I stopped learning like Zvachim. I still haven't come back to it. And then when I learned a different Masechet, I changed to an easier Masechet. I didn't feel a big change. I mean, it was easier because it was an easier thing, but it didn't start from Masechet Zvachim.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we've got to think out what's blocking us.
Right. It could be that in that case, it was easier for you to comprehend the Gemara, but the real learning experience that you were looking for wasn't there even in the easier Masechet. You got through it, but it's not really what you were looking for.
Exactly.
So from that, you understand that the issue wasn't Masechet Zvachim.
Right. And I think we don't even understand how the reasons can be so not connected to Torah that influence the learning. Like you said, the psychology side of the man. It could be he has issues with his parents. I don't know, I'm just saying. It could be he has issues with a friend. It could be he has issues, I don't know, he's watching things he's not meant to watch, or it could be so many reasons that his nefesh is not accepting the Torah, because you got to sit down with yourself, and if you could obviously use help from someone, from a good friend or a rabbi, and like literally analyze what's blocking me. What could it be?
Yeah. So I think that we'll elaborate on that in the coming Piskot.
Right. Did we say that we're in Perek Zayin Piska Aleph? Did we say that at the beginning? Okay,
yeah.
I just want to make sure. Fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now we're in the last sentence.
והסיבות הללו, the reasons why we don't connect to the Torah. So the reasons could come from all. This is what we just spoke about, the variety of reasons that could be. It could be a spiritual reason, that we're not on a very high level of spirituality, and that's why it affects our learning. It could be gashmi, someone that has a lot of parnasa, concerns about his parnasa, or his marriage is not in a good situation. All these things are.
Could also be habits.
Like, for example.
It could be eating habits. It could be sleeping habits. It could be social media, TikTok intake habits.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you're used to high dopamine spikes all the time, and you've burnt out your brain's capacity to work hard to get gratification from an hour of learning and thinking, and after 5 minutes you give up every time because you're used to easy dopamine spikes and you're automated like that because you watch TikTok for 3 hours a day, that would probably be, might also be a ruchani thing, but it depends on what, you could be watching Torah TikToks. And because you watch Torah TikToks, you can't learn, you can't put in the effort for long-term gratification. And that would be a gashmi, something that's holding you back gashmi.
Yeah, for sure. Wow. Also, yesh kodesh. It could be that we're lacking, how would you say, like a base to connect to kodesh.
Yeah.
It's hard to define what this means exactly.
Yeah, like because you could take, would it be emunah, that you're lacking emunah, or would it be, in this case, is like you're not, you haven't acquired a certain like level of training. I like achshara is training, but it's like from the word kisharon, which is talent. Like there's some spiritual deficiency.
Yeah. Like I think it makes it like for those people that don't grow up in like very from home. Sometimes they don't have this base when they come to learn because they just didn't have this chance to come into deep and to connect to these deep things. Mm-hmm. Could be. I'm trying to think what else it could be.
I wonder where the worlds of midot fall into this, like a certain level of anava, and a certain, like I said, like emunah, a certain faith in the authority of the text. Right? If you come down and you're sitting and I say, this is Rav Kook's writings, like you sit down with a certain faith in the text, much more than if I say, I wrote this myself.
Right.
Where you're not going to think that every word necessarily is that important. You're like looking for what I wrote in general, like what's the idea here? You know, you open like Torah Tidbits or some magazine, because then you're like, you read through the idea. If you got the idea, great. You're not focusing on every single word, like when you're learning the Tanakh, or when you're learning Gemara, or one of the Rishonim, or rabbis that just over time through your experience, have authority in your mind. So the authority to the Torah also could be a spiritual thing.
Yeah, I agree. How you look at it, how you're brought up to look at it. Yeah, I agree. And the last thing is,
I think. And you want to think about it more?
No, I'm thinking about it. It's like I would straight away say it's the same like yesh mehem shem gashmiot. No, what's the difference? What does it mean achshara shel chol? Ech ata mevin et ze?
Right. I think maybe now reading it over, if like what's the chidush? Maybe the ruchaniot and gashmiot are external. Yeah. And the chisaron achshara and of the kodesh and chol are internal. Like they're about the man himself.
So what does it mean? I wrote here, like this is years ago, that one of my friends in Yeshiva told me, Achia, you remember Achia?
Yeah.
So he said that chisaron achshara shel chol is the ability to believe that chol and kodesh come together. And that if I've got issues in chol or my world in chol has difficulties, it has an effect on how I'm learning my Torah. Is it even connected? So if you have an achshara in chol and you understand that chol, everything's built, even in chol, everything's built from kodesh, then you connect it easily. But I'm not sure if that's the easy way to go.
Right.
How do you?
I was thinking chisaron achshara, it could be language. You know, like I want to sit down, I want to learn Rabbi Nachman, but I know nothing about the Safa Kabbalit, you know, the Kabbalistic language.
Right.
He says lots of different new words that are not in my vocabulary. I don't have access to that depth.
Right.
I just don't. It's you know, and that's sometimes just a basic like what this word means, or what the concept means.
Okay. No, 100%. Yeah. Mm-hmm.